We celebrate the KCK Women's Chamber Foundation 2021 scholarship recipients. A big thank you to the KCK Chamber of Commerce for hosting and promoting this event today. Also on your screen are the sponsors for this event through the Women's Chamber Network. We really appreciate all the Chamber has done to help us make this event successful. The KCK Women's Chamber Foundation was established in 2014 to provide scholarship opportunities for non-traditional women students in our communities. The foundation board members, if you're here, please wave when I call your name, are Arlana Coleman, President, myself, Angela Turner, President-elect, Kathy Harding, Secretary and Treasurer, Patrice Townsend, Director, and Margaret Steele, Director. So as we know, women often put their family and others before themselves, causing them to delay pursuing their educational goals. The KCK Women's Chamber Foundation focuses on supporting women aged 25 and older who have returned to college to obtain a degree as a non-traditional student. The foundation raises money for scholarships through our annual fundraising event, Purses with a Purpose. In 2020, Purses with a Purpose virtual event raised $8,056, the most successful event. That would not have been possible without the support of our sponsors and all the generous people who bid on purses and purchased raffle tickets. Thank you to everyone who participated in Purses with a Purpose in 2020. And we would like for you to save the date for the Purses with a Purpose virtual event. This year will be on October 14th, 2021. We would like to recognize our 2020 sponsors, KCK Community College, KCK Chamber, DMK Consultants, MVP Law, Kansas Gas, Wynette Behavioral Health Network, and the KCK Women's Chamber Network. This past July, we launched our first ever Win with the Winners 50/50 raffle. And with the generous donation of our raffle winner, Myra Thomas Romero with Burritos to Go, we raised $660. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to KCK Women's Chamber Foundation President, Arlana Coleman, who will introduce today's speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce Dion King, the CEO and strategic consultant who leads DMK Consults LLC. Dion often serves as a featured keynote speaker and strategist to influence the policies and practices for companies with a national and international presence. Additionally, she authors curriculum for colleges and provides expert commentary on television, radio, podcasts, and in magazines. She is well equipped to do this work with a Master's of Science degree in Management from Friends University, a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science and Business Studies from Drake University, and add to this 5 years of building a thriving global consulting firm. She is affiliated with many boards and still finds time to work with homeless mothers and children. She has received many awards and recognition for her activism and service beyond the United States, in Guam, the Dominican Republic, and England. We are delighted to have Dion share her thoughts on the DNA of a successful woman. From her experience consulting with industries that many of our scholarship recipients aspire to enter. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dion King following this commercial that is currently being aired on 18 TV channels. Enjoy.
Changing the culture, one company at a time. DMK Consults. Dion King, award-winning cultural strategist, leads DMK Consults, an executive leadership development firm with clients in 17 different industries nationwide. DMK Consults specializes in building inclusive cultures, mediation, and executive consultation. We help people do better. Find out how. Call 816-701-9386 or visit dmkconsults.com. Changing the culture, one company.
Well, thank you so much. Can everyone hear me? If you can you wave at me? And we have a lot of people on here today, so I'm very excited to be in front of you today. And it is a privilege to spend this time with you. This is a very busy time for us here at DMK Consults. But first of all, when Miss Arlena calls you, whatever she asks you for, you say yes. And so I'm so glad that I was in town and able to be in front of you today, speaking to women and talking about women excellence and those that are excelling and availing themselves to better never gets old. And so I always want to make sure that I lend some time to do so. I don't know everyone that I'm looking at on the screen, but certainly I hope that our paths will cross again and that there will be something today that will spark something or ignite something in you, encourage you to continue doing what you're doing in excellence. I am so delighted also to also applaud the recipients of the scholarship today and those that we are honoring. Also want to give recognition to the foundation board members and those that are here on here. Also, Mr. Danny Silva of KCK Chamber, who is a dear friend of mine for a long time and who we definitely have to get together and have tacos like we've had in the past. And so thank you again for that. I only have a few minutes to be in front of you, so I want to jam pack it with some nuggets that I think will be very inspirational to you. One of the things that my clients always tell me is that when you get an opportunity to sit in any of my consultation sessions, I come up with a lot of Dionisms. And Dionisms are those words and those nuggets that fuel me and that I've lived and directed and led my firm with. As the commercial said, and I'm so excited about it, this is my very first time ever having a commercial on TV. And so being broadcast for the next 3 months and 18 different channels, from the OWN channel to the NFL channel, is a tremendous honor. To be able to partner with Spectrum Reach to do so. But I don't want to spend too much talking about my firm, but we specialize in just 3 things: diversity and inclusion, mediation, and executive consulting. And with all the Dionisms that I show my clients and talk to my clients about, it's what I also live off of. So I put together just a few of them that I think will be very instrumental today. So let me set my timer because I'll get excited and then I'll start talking and talking. Is there anybody that's been assigned to tell me to do this? I want to make sure that I have you on my screen here because I've taken everybody off. Okay, well then you all just want me to keep going. I can do 2 hours worth if you need me to. Okay, they're like, no, don't do that. So today I just want to talk about the makeup of a successful woman. What is innately in us that makes us successful and want to achieve, want to thrive, want to go beyond serving others and be able to really equip ourselves for the next phase of our life? So I titled the DNA of a successful woman. And I just think there are a number of things that we could talk about today. And I've just broken them down into 3 things, 3 Dionisms that we will talk about a little bit later. But first, they've asked me to share my story. And I believe that there's value in everyone's story, and being able to share it and use it as a guide for how you want to lead your journey and how you want to go to the next phase is also important. We don't necessarily have control of how we got here, but we definitely have control of how we want to live our life and how we want to steer it for the next few phases that we are blessed to be here on this earth. So my story is probably similar to a lot of executives, particularly those that have what I call multiple identities or intersection identities, where I am a woman, I am an African-American woman, and I still like to say I'm relatively young. The fact that I still say I'm a young tenderoni, my 13-year-old reminds me, if you say the word young tenderoni, then you're not young. So I've stopped saying that. I just say that I'm a young person in my mind as well. But so having those type of intersection identities, I sit in boardrooms and across the table of people that do not look like me or have those same identities. My target audience and those that I normally work with are CEOs of corporations and companies across the United States. And so they are predominantly older white males. And I've been doing this type of work for 20 plus years. So I've become very comfortable in being in this setting. Yet and still, there are challenges that I face that I think has really shaped who I am, how I work, and the sort of the way that I structure life and my journey. So my story is having 20 plus years, well, let's take about 15 years in law firm diversity, where I was responsible for crafting the diversity and inclusion efforts for major law firms here in Kansas City, Missouri. That in and of itself comes with a lot of successes, but also a lot of challenges that you have to navigate for your own personal and professional growth. What I found is there was so many challenges and so many obstacles that I began to feel defeated. I felt that I wasn't valued, and I didn't understand why what I was hired to do, there were so many impediments to keep me from doing what I was supposed to do. And so I felt undervalued, undertooled. I felt that there was a lack of understanding in what I did. And so as a result, I found myself sitting, and this is the piece where you always think back on what is that thing that caused you to make the jump to the next level in your life. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good. This, unfortunately, was not so good. So I'm sitting across the table from one of my bosses, and he took a considerable amount of time telling me what I am not. And in my mind, translated to devaluing me and not really understanding what I do. I've been a top performer pretty much in everything that I've done through school. And I pride myself on doing the best and give my clients the best. So this wasn't a first time where I've been told that I was not doing well. It didn't feel good, but it wasn't unique after I learned that many of my executive colleagues were going through the same thing. And while most people would have gotten angry at the boss sitting across the table, devaluing them, I started to get mad at myself because everything that he was saying to me, while I know it wasn't true, I wasn't at a stage where I understood my value so that I could counter that narrative. So I was angry within myself. And from then and then on, I said, I will always know what value I bring to the table and will be able to communicate that effectively. So that has been part of what has sparked me to want to open my own firm, which is what I've done and built for the last 5 years, from focusing in on one industry, which is law firm diversity, and has now expanded to 17, now going on 18 different industries that we work with to build more inclusive cultures. So the way that I moved into spaces like that came from a very bad experience for me, being not able to sit across the table and define who I was and counter what this person was saying, was what I would call an experience that you have one of two ways to respond. One, you can fall by the wayside and cry and eat chocolate and eat all the ice cream you want and be depressed. Or you can say, you know what, I'm going to do something different. And that do something is different is still this age-old thing called change. Change. We all have the power to change, but many times we don't have the know-how. And so what I began to do is create a plan for change for my own life, and wanted to be able to communicate from here on out who I was and how I wanted people to see me. So there are things in our lives where when we have lived experiences, I want to encourage us all to use them. Use and allow your lived experiences to catapult you forward. That uncomfortable situation with the boss that was devaluing me pushed me into an area where I jumped from a firm into creating my own firm. Now, this is coming from a person, you all, that never wanted to own their own business. I like creature comforts. I like corporate America. I like, getting a check on the 15th and 30th. When you are an entrepreneur and a business owner, you have to work to make sure that you're getting paid, and it doesn't always fall on the 15th and 30th. So a whole different lifestyle I began to live. And one of the things that I've learned and been able to say that's not only a part of my DNA, but a part of every other successful woman that I have had the pleasure of meeting, and that I see a lot in the resumes and the write-ups of our scholarship recipients, is there's this transformative resilience that we live with. And I think is really innate in a lot of us. It's intuitive, and it's something that many of us are born with. So Dion, what is transformative resilience? It's more than fancy words, and it's more than just what we understand resilience to be. The initial, and I apologize, you all, the trash truck always wants to come when I'm presenting or teaching a class here at the office. Resilience as we know it, defined very broadly, is bouncing back to the original state. But what I've learned about women that are successful is that there's this transformative resilience where not only are you bouncing, but you're bouncing forward. And you're bouncing forward and being catapulted into a whole different sphere of how you perform, how you interact, and how you see yourself. So it's an increased mindset of I'm going to do differently, and there is no return or bounce back to where I previously was. And so this transformative resilience has been that thing that has pushed many people beyond the status quo into an area where they've been able to create more from a very disfavorable or unhappy moment, like it was for me sitting across from my boss. You see transformative resilience when maybe someone loses a child and then they form an organization that will lend itself or cater money or help people in those same similar situations, or other families that are also facing those different situations. And so the bounce forward is one of the things that I want to encourage our scholarship recipients and all those that have taken their time today to listen to this presentation, is that we continue to strive to bounce forward and allow our lived experience to create the next phase of our life. The next thing, and as I would say, is Dionism, is begin to change the narrative to fit who you want to be. I've learned just from a little girl that you speak things that be not as though they were. And you begin to speak things that, what that means is that although you don't see it today or see it now, it can be a reality when you begin to process it in your mind as so. And so to say, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to discipline myself to be in school and learn what I want to learn in order to go to the next phase of my journey, that is part of speaking that reality out. And so who you are also plays an important part of that. That goes back again, and I'm going to keep using this because I think it's very valuable to understand not all bad situations end up bad. They can actually push us into some good spaces in our lives and in our journey. So begin to speak, I am who I say I am. We may have people in our families, people in our friends that say, oh, you're doing too much. You're a mom, you're this, you're that, you're taking on too much. But when you avail yourself for better, you will dedicate the time and the resources, the energy, blood, sweat, and tears to be able to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. So as you get up, these are things that I say. I give myself motivational speeches in the mirror. I'm also a mirror bully too. So I talk pretty tough to myself, and then I have nice words to kind of soften it out at the end. But I'm always saying, I am this, I am that. And you begin to speak that. I am successful. I am a business owner that will help many, many people. I will grow my business from one practice to 3, and I will help not only one industry, but 17 or 18. And it won't be just in the Midwest, it will be globally. And those type of things you speak into existence to where it becomes part of your DNA and who you are. The next one, and my last point, I wanted to make sure again that I'm being mindful of your time today. Good, we're right on time, is to live life on full. Live life on full. What does that mean? Well, I'm so encouraged by this that I wanted to share and end this with you, is that living life on full means to completely availing yourself to everything that you believe that you could do. And even when you can't believe it, avail yourself. Saying yes to a lot of new things can open up doors that you never imagined can open up for you. I do this and I live this. Many times I'll say yes, and then I go, oh, I have never done that before, or I am not equipped, or I've never gone to school to do that. But it presents itself, and then you begin to equip yourself to do what it is it's necessary to meet the task at hand. And so living life on full means to completely develop yourself. That means doing exactly what you ladies are doing, availing yourself, putting yourself in a position where you're wanting and doing better, developing, learning a new skill, learning a new trade, and positioning yourself again for the next phase of your journey. The other thing is, as you're living on full, is begin to attach yourself to other people that are successful. Begin to attach your to other people that can help you get to the next phase. Be very strategic about the people that you connect with, those that you have coffee with, those that you have lunch with, because there's value in everyone's story, and many people have a lot that they can offer you and help you along the way. And so I just think those are parts that I think help us to grow and to completely know that we are living on full. 2 points also that I wanted to say with that is begin to always be in a position, and this is sort of reiterating our first point today, is to be able to speak your value in any space. When you walk into the room and you sit at a table, no matter who's sitting around that table, know and be able to communicate your value. And that's not just women. I see our men folk here too. You also need to know what it is you are good at and be able to speak that and know that this is the value you add in any space, for any organization, and for any company. So advocating for yourself and knowing your worth, I think, is a tremendous skill, and something that as a function of a successful woman is what we have to definitely be able to do. And the last thing is believing in yourself. When no one else believes in you, you have to be able to have that spark and that fire that continues to drive you. I'm not saying anything that's new. This is not any kind of super advice that I just came up with. Many of us know what it means to have that innate fire that we have to continue to douse, so that to put more gasoline on so it'll continue to burn, because there are things that we live through that may really discourage us, that may hamper our growth, that may impede some of our dreams. But we have to continue believing in ourselves and knowing that we can do it and we can make a difference in every area that we put our minds to. And so I just wanted to I wish I had maybe 2 more hours, because I like talking and I like encouraging people. And I understand that there's I get a lot of calls and a lot of people that call me and say, how do you do it? How do you build a successful firm in 5 years? And how do you work with, people from all walks of life? And you just look like you do it with ease and that you're not scared. I'm like, who lied to you? Who told you I wasn't scared? I walk scared all the time. I just don't allow that to paralyze me. There is no excuse. Just because you're scared does not mean that you still can't get up and achieve. And so being able to manufacture inspiration as a successful woman, a successful man, has to be something that we practice every day. Walking scared, not understanding every part of it, but knowing it's going to work out in the end, I think, is the best thing that we can do as successful people, professionals. So as I was reading, and I'm going to be closing, here. And I don't know if I'm supposed to open up for questions or if anyone does have any questions, but I'll certainly avail myself or be available at the end if anyone has any questions or like to have further information about our firm. But I just wanted to stop and encourage you all, ladies. I was just very impressed by the program and those that have invested, all of the companies that have invested in each one of the scholarship recipients. That says a lot. That says that we as a community believe in you. And we want, people don't put money behind things they don't believe. So when someone or a company invests in you, know that they are serious about it and they expect great things. And our community produces great things and great people. And so again, I want to commend you. I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. And just for those of you, because I like to give gifts, I want to offer to Electra, Catherine, Patricia, Nubia, Katrina, and Jennifer 1 free hour executive consultation. And if you want to take advantage of that, you can hold your phone up to the QR code or contact my office where they'll be able to schedule you 1 free hour of that. Now, this is a package worth $350 an hour, and that is the same type of consultation that we offer to our CEOs of major companies. And so we want to gift that to you as a gift from DMK Consults, and also as an investment, knowing that we are depending on you, we are applauding you, and we expect great things coming from you. So thank you so much for this time that you lent me to hopefully speak some words of encouragement to you. And again, thank you for all of you that are here today.
Thank you so much, Dion. That is an amazing gift, ladies, and I would highly encourage you to take advantage of that, as it should help you to continue to bounce forward and maybe not have to experience some of the trials and tribulations that you might if you didn't have that advice from Dion. Dion, great speech. Thank you for inspiring us to know our worth, to live on full, and to change our narrative. Those are all words that all of the women on the call need to hear on a regular basis. And it is encouraging myself as well as others to continue on. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much.
So today we are excited to celebrate 6 women who received $8,000 in scholarship. In July, we awarded 5 of the scholarship recipients, each received $1,300, and then 1 repeat recipient received $1,500 scholarships. Since we are not able to have our traditional luncheon, we also have gifted these women each a DoorDash gift certificate to have lunch on us. So if you haven't used that yet, enjoy a lunch at some point. I'm sure you deserve a break and not to have to cook. So now we're going to hear from our scholarship awardees who are attending with us today. Like I had kind of given a heads up before, awardees, when I call on you, if you would let us know about the degree that you're seeking and the institution you're enrolled in, and just a little bit about your journey. We're doing great on time, so if you could just keep that to about 2 minutes. We will hear from those people who are here, and then for those that are not able to attend with us, we do have a couple of videos, but I'm seeing a few more people that joined us. So I'm gonna see if Miss Electra, if you could start, that would be wonderful.
Hi, everyone. My name is Electra Arzola. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, just making sure. I just want to say thank you to the KCK Women's Chamber Foundation for awarding me the scholarship. It really does help a lot. I work full-time, and I am a full-time student at Park, trying to get a business administration degree with a minor in human resources. I am also a mother of 3. So I stay busy. Yeah, they're all under 7, so definitely busy. I have been told a lot of times that I'm doing too much. So it was great to hear that from Dion. Like it was very inspiring. So I appreciate it a lot. And I hope that I can continue and grow. I recently started a new career at Johnson County Community College. I was at Kansas City, Kansas Community College, where they actually encouraged me to pursue my degree and, keep going and keep pushing. So I am always going to be grateful for them. So I hope I can make some connections here as well. And thank you so much for everyone that contributed. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Electra, and we look forward to hearing your successes. Let's see, Catherine, I saw you, there you are. You would go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Catherine Archie Johnson. I am actually attending Doane University in Omaha, Nebraska. I do live in Kansas City, so I commute once a month to have class in person. I am pursuing my doctorate in education with my emphasis in community and culture. This scholarship means so much to me, and I just want to thank the KCK Women's Foundation for the opportunity. Like many of us, I work full time. I go to school full time. I'm a mother. I'm also expecting. It's been actually 13 years since my last pregnancy. So it's been some challenges there, but it's been good. But also in the process of this journey, there's been many challenges. I lost my father last year to COVID. My first year of school, when I first started my program in 2015, in the spring semester, I lost one of my younger brothers to gun violence. And also in the midst of all this, I have been relocated with employment from Nebraska to Kansas City. So I've had a lot going on and got married in all that too. So there's been a lot going on that definitely could have stopped me, but it has all been fuel for me to continue to go and to continue to move forward. And so, again, I'm very thankful, very appreciative of this opportunity, and I do look forward to networking and learning more about just the women who are being honored today, as well as women in the community here. So thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. And we are impressed by your resilience. Nubia.
Hi, everybody. Can you all hear me too? Yeah, I have a new headset. My name is Nubia Estepes. My pronouns are she, her, ella, and I attend Fort Hays State University virtual pre-law. And I'm just beyond, this is the first year that I'm going to school full time. I do a lot of immigration advocacy. Community organizing is my passion. I am a mother of 3, not under 7. I have a 12, a 7, and a 2. And it was just, Ms. Dion said something about the spark. And I remember when I started my journey, when my daughter was 12, I had her when I was 17, and I got married, and I know my family members were like, you need to be at home, make sure your husband has food and everything ready for the baby. And I said, he has 2 hands, I could do it. He could do it too. And that semester, I just took 1 class at JCC, and everybody kind of was against me. I'm like, why am I even doing this? But I think the more they pushed, the more I pushed back. And this year, kind of emphasis in pre-law right now, it's a little bit difficult, a lot of reading, and just I always do a lot of advocacy for the community. I always try to connect resources to the community, especially to the Hispanic undocumented community. So this year I learned to make sure I advocate for myself, if it includes mental health, and just push forward, because I will be able to give back to the community as a lawyer. And Ms. Jan said, who said you weren't scared. One of the things I remind myself, if your dreams aren't scaring you, they're not big enough. Well, I am very scared, but I'm pushing forward, and I'm thankful for this scholarship, which just gives me the push to know that the community is behind me and that you all do believe in me and little me with my family. So I appreciate that. I am so thankful for everybody and their contributions. Gracias.
Thank you, Nubia. Dion, it sounds like you have a future staff member there. It appears the last person we have on the call that can speak with us is Jennifer. Jennifer is actually our repeat scholarship winner. The KCK Women's Chamber Foundation has committed to continually to support women if they do apply for the scholarship and are chosen by the committee each year. So we will continue to support women throughout their journey, and Jennifer was a recipient last year and also this year. Jennifer, go ahead.
Hi, yes, my name is Jennifer Arms, and I am beyond words super grateful for the scholarship. I can't tell you how great it feels to be supported and encouraged. And I am a civil engineering major at the University of Missouri in Kansas City. This is my senior year, and I'll be busy helping design a concrete canoe for the American Society of Civil Engineers. And I'm the area manager for the concrete mix design. So if it sinks, it'll probably be my fault. And then I'll also be researching UAVs and how you can use those unmanned aerial vehicles for solving engineering solutions. And so I'm excited that the scholarships help me to be able to spend time doing that, and gives me just extra motivation knowing that I have support and encouragement from other women in the community. So thank you very much.
Okay, wonderful. And we have two other recipients. It doesn't appear as they're on the line. I'm looking for Patricia or Katrina. We do have a video that we could play from Katrina. And is that possible? Okay, give Caitlin a second.
Hello, my name is Katrina Taylor, and I just want to say thank you to the Kansas City, Kansas Women's Chamber Foundation for my scholarship. It will be used towards my balance at my institution. Thank you again so much.
Thank you, Caitlin. And I just got word, I apologize because I'm terrible at multitasking, but I just got word that Daniel Silva has offered all of the scholarship winners a 1-year free membership to the Women's Chamber Network. You are not a current member of the KCK Chamber or the Women's Chamber Network, I highly encourage you to do so. The Women's Chamber Network is a great organization to be a part of. You have access to lots of women, several of them are on this call, events for networking, and just some great resources. So I'm assuming that someone from the chamber will reach out to you all about that membership, and that is a great membership to have. I do want to say thank you to Patrice Townsend, who is chair of the program committee and on the KCK Women's Chamber Foundation board, for organizing this event. She's also working hard on Purses with a Purpose. I'm putting the link for that event there. You can go ahead and register. Raffle tickets and online bidding will start closer to the event, but please mark your calendars. I also would like to say thank you to the scholarship committee. If you are on the scholarship committee and helped with selecting our scholarship recipients, please wave when I call your name. Gail Lee, Kathy Harding, Margaret Steele, Irene Cadillo, and also thanks to Pat Burney, who helped with the back end and technology and making it for the first time ever us to have our application electronic, which made things so much easier, especially with COVID. Like I said, Purses with a Purpose is coming up on October 14th. It will be a virtual event. You can get information at the link that's in the chat, but we are looking for sponsorships and donations. If you are interested in being your company being a sponsor, or if you would like to donate a purse package, please reach out to myself or Arlana Coleman, and we will hook you up with the right person. We do have just a little bit of time left. So before we end, if there is anyone that has a specific question for Ms. Dion, I will open the floor to questions before we leave for today. We're so inspired about bouncing forward and changing our narrative and living on full. We may not have any questions.
I'll jump in. I don't know if I have a question. Well, it might lead into a question, but definitely your comment in regard to bringing your authentic self and then that fear. And I say this quite a bit to folks, is that there's always this kind of a feeling when I approach anything, but at this point, not scared of it. Just know that I'm still kind of in this path of nothing's comfortable for me, whether I'm speaking in front of a group or whether, you have to jump to that. In this era of DEI and B, I always add belonging as well. Just your thoughts on bringing that authentic self and this new era of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Do you have any thoughts about what that means for diverse women in particular, moving into just often men-focused settings?
Yeah, in spaces where you only see, like, you're probably the one. You're
Right.
that one person that's on the website and the brochure and everything.
Right.
And so, yeah, thank you so much. It's good seeing you again.
Good to
It's been a long
see you.
time since I've seen you. Authenticity, there's a lot of definitions for that, but I think there's value. And first of all, you have to know yourself to know how you walk into a room. And so being authentic means, for me, being confident in how you show up and understanding, like I had spoken in the beginning, you're intersecting identities, all of the identities that you walk into a room with that may be just unique to yourself, or that you actually may share with some of the people in the room. And understanding that what you bring to the room adds value, it is important, and being able to leverage that, I think, is one of the key pieces. Irene, that's one of the things that I really talk to my clients about, is they'll say, we have a strong DEI program, and we're hiring all these people of color, we're hiring all these women in spaces that were historically, you just didn't see them. And I say, well, that's wonderful. How are you leveraging that talent? And then there's these blank stares. So it's like everybody goes, we want to hire and we're retaining wonderful people, but I think you start to get the revolving door and you lose key talent because they don't know how to leverage that talent. And they're not understanding how this authenticity, or what I call your lived experience that you bring with you, can really be used for the betterment of the culture and the organization that they're in. And so for me, that's what knowing your authenticity, knowing what you bring when you walk into any space, and then helping. And sometimes you have to play a proactive role in helping your organization know what strengths you bring to the table and how they can leverage that for the betterment of your company.
Yeah, and thank you for that, because there has to be an intersection and an understanding I love your lived experience. I love the fact that lived experience is an expertise that we definitely have to bring. And so thank you. Thank you for today. And I do appreciate seeing you again. And thank you for your words.
Thank you so much for that. Anybody else? This is fun.
Yeah, this is Kathy Harding. I have a question because we hear this a lot when you say, well, just go do this, and how many times have we heard, oh, I can't do that. I can't. How do you get from the I can't do that to the I can and I will and I'll make a difference?
Ooh,
What is it inside of us that we need to raise it to the surface so that comes out of us?
Yeah. Well, for me, the first thing I do is speak that. In order to, in any space, to change your mindset, you have to be able to speak that. And that comes from believing that you can do so. I think as women, sometimes we're in culture to believe that there's certain spaces that are just not for us. We're being told, well, girls don't do that. I remember growing up, and I remember distinctly, I should have checked her, but I was a little kid, so I didn't know to do stuff like that. But there was a math problem I was struggling with, and I couldn't understand the formula and how it came to the solution. And so the teacher said, oh, don't worry about it. Girls don't usually major or have any careers in math. And so it won't really matter if you know this or not. Now, that's like blaring red flags and everything now. But back then I was like, and it sounded, felt wrong. But I was a kid, so I'm like, okay. And so I didn't learn that. And so I think there are things that we have to, like I was saying earlier, Kathy, change the narrative. And when there are things that are spoken over us, or we're told that we can't, girls don't do this, girls don't do that. Yes, you can. And be able to say that and speak that and know that you can. Will we know all of the steps? No. Will we have all of the resources? No. I don't even think that needs to be a rule that we have to have everything in place in order for us to start and begin. I read a book called Lean In a couple of years ago. I don't know if you all are familiar with that. Well, Sheryl Sandberg, she talked about something I thought was so key, and I use it sometimes in some of my presentations, where women will sign up for a job. They will, if they're looking for a new career or a job, they will look at the requirements on that job description, and it has to be at least 98% to 100 of those things that they feel that they already have skills in or that they can already do. Well, they did a comparative study and said, men, guess what the number is of all of the requirements? It's 60%. Men will still sign up for a job that they only may have 60% of the talents that are listed as a requirement. So what does that say to us? It says that we've been in culture to think that we have to have it all together in order for us to start, in order for us to go, in order for us to get in movement. And that's not the case. In many spaces and in many jobs and in many programs, they will show you the things that they need to show you. And so when they have, requirements and recommended attributes, I'm not thinking of the words correctly just yet. Just know that you can learn it in motion and in real time, and you don't always have to have everything in place in order for you to start. And I just think that's a great, wisdom nugget for us to live by. You don't always have to have it all together in order for you to start. The other thing, Kathy, because I think that's such a great question, is we're not always inspired. That inspiration doesn't always start in the morning time at 9 o'clock and you just have, you're at 100% in everything you do. So I have to learn how to manufacture inspiration and manufacture that and do some things strategically that I know gets me going. If it's praying, listening to music, talking to a friend that I know has jokes and gets me into a really jovial mood, those are the things that I will do in order for me to start getting myself inspired. The other thing is I'm always, every week, I'm looking at a YouTube video so that I can pick up a skill that I can learn and equip myself. Whether it has something to do with how to create graphics, how to do a CRM program, I do that because I want to continue to better myself. And so I think those are the things that help you to go and to start and to be in motion for some of the things that you're wanting to achieve. Kathy, I hope that answered it. But that's kind of how I do it. That's what I know to do.
More than answered it. Thank you.
Mhm.
In addition to that, I would also encourage you to surround yourself with amazing women like we have on the call here. I'm leading this today because Orlando Coleman said, you're going to do this and you can do it. And so surround yourself with women who will push you to do better, like Orlana and yourself and Dion and Irene. That I think is a key in continuing to grow and to being successful, because it can be very difficult for women out there. So with that, Dion, we thank you so very much for inspiring us. I'm looking forward to working on my own self with your words today, and I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who participated. Congratulations again to our scholarship recipients. If you are not finishing your degree this year like Jennifer is, I encourage you to apply again when the scholarship is available next year, because the Women's Chamber Foundation is committed to continuing to support you. Also, I look forward to seeing everyone on this call with a friend that they want to inspire at Purses with a Purpose event on October 14th. And KCK Chamber, Daniel and Caitlin, thank you again. If you did not see it in the chat, scholarship recipients, please contact Caitlin to receive your complimentary 1-year membership to the Women's Chamber Network. Stay safe and have a wonderful day.